Well, it's unconscionable and unacceptable for the White House or any public agency to punish a journalist by revoking his or her credentials just for doing their job.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country, you run CNN,
right.
And if you did it well, your ratings
Let
would
me
be
ask,
much better.
if I may ask one other question, Mr. President.
We, in lockstep with the White House Correspondents Association, the National Association of Hispanic Journalists, the Reporters Committee for Freedom of the Press, and other press freedom groups are demanding that Jim Acosta's credentials be restored immediately.
If I may ask
Peter,
one other
ahead.
question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough.
Mr. President,
that's
I was going to ask one of the other folks.
That's
had,
enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr.
Excuse
President.
me. That's enough.
Any objective observer of the video of that incident clearly shows that Jim Acosta was being nothing but professional and cordial. He even said to her, "Pardon me, ma'am."
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask, on the Russia investigation.
This is an unprecedented assault on the First Amendment, but more important than that, on the public's need to know what its elected officials are doing. And it's having a ripple effect all over the country, in state houses, in city halls, in school board meetings. This rhetoric, led by the President of the United States, is sifting down to local and regional levels.
You'll ask me that question a little bit later. Go ahead.
This is an escalation of the anti-media rhetoric that the President has been engaged in since before he was President, since he launched his campaign. This is a near unprecedented escalation of the war against journalism and the First Amendment.
That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming down in this investigation?
I always tell journalists two things. Number one, watch your backs but don't back down. And number two, double down on responsible journalism. Don't be intimidated by threats or harassment. Keep doing your job and keep doubling down on seeking and reporting the truth.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN.
I think we've seen a very heartening response from other news organizations in support of Jim Acosta and CNN, most of them anyway. And I think it's up to each individual member of the White House Press Corps and his or her company to decide how they want to respond.
In Jim's defense, I've traveled with him and watched him. He's a diligent reporter who busts his butt.
Well, I'm not
like
a big
the rest
fan
of
of yours either, so
I understand.
To be honest.
There's no question this has an extremely chilling effect on journalists' ability to do their jobs. When a journalist at the White House or anywhere in the country has his or her press credentials revoked simply because the subject of their inquiries doesn't like the questions they ask, that's going to make some reporters think twice, and that's too bad.
You repeatedly, over the course of the...
Okay, just sit down, please. Well, when you report fake news, when you report fake news, which CNN does a lot, you are the enemy of the people. Go ahead.
Well, in today's divided ideological environment, you're seeing extreme reactions on both sides of this issue. I would urge the American people just to calm down, take a deep breath, and look at the facts and draw your own conclusions.
You said you would sign an executive order on birthright citizenship. Are you still going to sign the executive order?